Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, the unusual Quake activity is continuing. And, we've had so many people are noticing strange energies and feeling out of sorts, maybe a little bit off balance, a little bit wonky, so to speak. I think a lot of people are getting much more sensitive to the energies of the earth and everything that we're being exposed to right now. There's so many changes going on so rapidly, and it feels like we're escalating. When you look over here, now we've seen a lot of different swarms going on. You see a couple of quakes over here just south of Carson City. There's been swarming going on south of Carson City. There's been swarming over here, like around Hawthorne. This is a military base over here as well. Goldfield has seen some swarming. Of course, we have Ridgecrest swarming. And look at this over here. Wow. This one right here just came out. It's a 4.1. And here you have a 5.2. That's pretty significant. Look at this swarming that's going on right now. So in this tiny area, we're seeing 29 quakes. And of course, what do we see here? Mammoth Lakes. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually a super volcano in here. We have Long Valley Caldera and Mammoth Lakes. We've been talking about obviously Yellowstone. Yellowstone's had activity. You look over here, there's swarming going on. This is over at the geysers. As you see all this swarming going on, there's big pressure that feels like it's building. And, as we see Ridgecrest over here, not too active compared to what we've seen in the past, and a lot of smaller ones going on. We know when we had that big quake down in Ridgecrest, it woke up the Garlock Fault. And Garlock Fault is an interesting fault because it puts pressure over on the San Andreas. And I did a couple of videos talking about this gentleman who years ago, Joe Brandt, received a vision of how the San Andreas was going to go. Finally, the big one, quote unquote. And it was all about the Garlock Fault. And so it's interesting when we're looking at all this going on. Here we have a 3.7 over here on the other side of the military base. We've had swarms, obviously. We had the big one up in Salt Lake City. There was a 5.7 with tons of aftershocks. We see there's only 2 right now, so that's died way down. Feels like pressure is shifting. We had the big Idaho quakes, and you still have 17 aftershocks going on there as well. So what is going to go next? That's kind of the big question here. We've also seen like a lot of unusual quakes. There was one over in Pennsylvania a few days ago. It just feels like something big is perhaps right around the corner. And, in my mind, I'm still feeling that it's going to be Cascadia first. And then the San Andreas that will probably go shortly thereafter. And once those happen, then the pressure can shift over, and then we would be keeping our eyes open for the New Madrid. And of course, always praying that Yellowstone doesn't go. But the power also of the explosion that we see as you're looking at Long Valley Caldera, which you could see so clearly, and here's Mammoth Lakes. This is a massive, massive supervolcano. And this one last went 760,000 years ago, they tell us. Long Valley was formed when a supervolcanic eruption released hot ash that later cooled to form the Bishop Tuff that is common to the area. And that emptied the magma chamber under the area to the point of collapse. The second phase of the eruption released pyroclastic flows that burned and buried thousands of square miles. Ash from that eruption blanketed much of the western part of what now is the United States. So, it doesn't mean that this is going to go, although this could be on a par, not too far off from Yellowstone, as well. So it's something else to just be aware of as the Earth is going through tremendous changes right now. Tremendous changes. And how many of you guys are feeling energetically, are feeling something, are feeling maybe a little bit dizzy, a little bit buzzing, a little tingly? Just curious. So, my friends, as always, thank you for your support, especially on Ko-Fi and Patreon, keeping the channel afloat. God bless and namaste.